Hmm. Hello, everyone. This is Shelley Hagen. I'm back today with the Abundant Investor Tip of the Day. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about working with mortgage brokers. It's going to be just a quick tip. Most people, when you start out getting financing as a real estate investor, you're buying your first home, they tend to think of going to their traditional bank or credit union that they got financing for their first home. And that could be fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. However, quite often those particular individuals may or may not be that sophisticated in working with investors because they typically deal with, mom and pop who are buying a home. And so I'd recommend that you work with a mortgage professional, a mortgage broker who is familiar with working with investors. So they will understand how to position you and your deal the best way to help you get financing and grow your business. So the mortgage broker will need some stuff from you. You're going to need to get a little bit organized. So I want to give you a heads up on this. If you haven't done it already, create a folder someplace on your computer, scan in your notice of assessments for the last 2 or 3 years. If you're going to get financing through a corporation, then scan in your incorporation documents, your T1 generals for your corporation if you file taxes already, if it's been established for more than 1 year. If not, if it's a brand new corporation, you don't need to know that, but they will need your notice of assessments. They're going to pull your credit bureau, and you're going to need to send all this information into the mortgage broker. Now, the benefit of working with a mortgage broker as well is when you go to the mortgage broker, they can pull your credit once and use it for several months. And they also will require you to fill out a mortgage application, which if you go and get financing fairly quickly, quite often they can just reuse the same mortgage application. It depends on that time frame as how often you're coming in to get financing. But the benefit of them having your credit bureau is that when you go into one of the traditional lenders, one of the banks or credit union, if you go in one day and you speak to one person, you have to go speak to another person the next time you're in, they may pull your credit bureau more than once. And as a real estate investor, I protect my credit a lot. I don't want to have any pulls on my credit that I don't need to have on there. And when I go to meet with a banker, if I'm going directly to a bank or credit union, I talk to them in terms of that they cannot pull my credit more than once. That's it. And I will have a conversation with them first before I sit down with them to actually allow them to pull my credit, because I want to get an idea whether they think they would even work with me or not. So a mortgage broker also has access to many, many different lenders. And they also have access in a lot of cases to private investors who have money. You might need something for a short term. So they have many options available. That's why there's benefit of working with them. When you go into financing, if you're going for, anywhere between 1 to 4 unit buildings, those are going to be considered residential. They're going to look at you for and your credit and your income and as well as the property income, but it's really a lot about you and you as an individual. Once you get into larger properties, 5 units plus, then you can have the lenders start to look at you as an investor and as a commercial, and more as a business approach. And so you can work with a broker to do some of that as well. And there would be an opportunity possibly to get a commercial loan where they look more at certainly your credit. You have still have to good credit, but they're going to look more at the income on the property. It does cost a little more for the financing for commercial, but it is worth your while as you grow your portfolio. You just need to make sure you're getting the right deal that can afford that extra cost. It's not exorbitant usually. It's 1 or 2 points more. As you kind of outgrow your mortgage broker, once you get to a certain point, the mortgage broker is not going to be able to probably help you. And then you're going to need to have, a professional investor package put together that you can take to one of the lenders, one of the banks, and sit down with their small business lending manager and show them that you're a business. And you want them to look at you then for portfolio funding rather than just regular funding. So you're going to need to have a business plan. Very important. You're going to need to show you have a history. And I would suggest you have your list of all of your assets that you currently have, showing the income and expenses. That's part of your package. That list and the business plan is what you're going to take forward as a professional lender. I'm going to talk about that, another tip of the day, a little bit more when you get into commercial lending and lending for bigger properties. But this is it for today. So this is my tip of the day, working with mortgage brokers. Have an abundant day. We'll see you again.